Oh, wait, that's strange. Why does that look like that? Huh. Why does that look like that? Oh, Lord. Don't tell me I did that. Um, where is the that looks very strange. My background has disappeared. Oh, by the way, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here, etc., etc. Why does the screen look different? Hmm. Hmm. Um. Well, all of that's there. Um. Hmm. Wow, that's different. That looks very different. All right. I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe they did some kind of reboot or something. But I'm just saying it's not supposed to look like that. All right, it doesn't matter. Mm, wow. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. I'm just a little confused why it looks so strange like that. But so long as it works, it does not matter. So I ain't tripping. But okay, I need to do one thing now. Let's see. How would I remedy that? Okay, get rid of that one. And okay, that's got to go. All right, I'm going to try that one more time. All right. So in the meantime, thank you so much for being here first, Jennifer Edwards. Today was a rainy day. Oh my goodness. Well, now see, that would cause my arthritis to flare up. I don't like that though. You see how the thing there, the does that take up too much of the screen? I think so. I don't like that. Let me see how to change that to something else. What is that? Nope. Oh, banners, banners. Let's see. This okay. Can you guys see that? No, you can't see it on your screen, can you? All right. Oh wow, you cannot see that. All right. Oh, banner is the thing that goes at the bottom of the screen. Okay. I don't need that. Oh, you can see that. All right. Oh, got it. I don't know why that changed, but I got it now. All right. Yes. All right. Okay. Sorry for the weirdness. Oh, you can change that too. Look at this. Look at that. I didn't know that that was look, 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 look. Oh, wow. You know, all this time, I thought it was just one way to have that. Never knew that you could change the style. Man, I thought this was it. But apparently you can do that, or that, or that, or that, or this. Oh, why is it pink though? It's supposed to be Royal Sussex Blue. All right, so I'm back to the Royal Sussex Blue. This is trippy. Look at this. You can make it green, yellow, or purple, but I prefer the Royal Sussex Blue. Minimal, classic, bubble. Okay, I'm going to keep the bubble. Well, I didn't know that this did all of that. You could even change the font. Get the font out of here. Look at this. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no, you know what? That is for a premium. Now, we ain't doing no premiums. We want the basic. We want the basic. Okay, I'm going to leave that round like that. God, I look cute. Look at my face. Look at my face. I got a little cleft. I got the cheeks to die for. And look at how smooth that skin is, right? That is one handsome person there with his old ass. Oh man. I tell you, he's like Uncle Joe. He's moving kind of slow at the junction. Petticoat Junction. There's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Petticoat Junction. Oh, look at that. Look at how it's round in the corner instead of square. Well, I'm kind of glad that happened now because I never knew you could change that. See, one thing about being a content creator, every day you learn something new about how to do something. Wow. Okay. Anyway, thanks you. Thanks you. Thank you. uh right? Thank you so much for that. I mean, making allowances for wear and tear, I look okay. I ain't all that. Oh no, what happened, Lady T? Oh. Oh yeah. You know, something must have happened and I'm sure that this could not have been planned for. But like I said, there are so many elements out there that are just hoping and praying for the Sussexes to fail. So we have to be open minded to the idea that anything can and will happen when you have so much or so many people out there that do not have your um, good feelings for you. I'm choosing my words carefully. So I um I missed out on a few things that I wanted and I don't know, I guess it's just my nature to be positive and upbeat about things, but I just have always believed that everything happens for a reason and surely there's a reasonable explanation, but we're not privy to it. I don't even want to know what it is, but I'm just going to have faith and trust the Sussexes, or as I should say, the Duchess of Sussex, since it's her business. I'm going to have to trust and believe, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. Um, okay. Joan Garcia says, where are you? Um, Member for 42 months. Let's recognize that, shall we? 42 months of membership. Thank you so much for that. Your memberships are the backbone of Royal Sussex. It's what makes Royal Sussex possible. Baron, you're playing with your toys. Also got my message about apricot spread, and I'll get it for free. They even refunded my purchase today. Megan really cares about her customers. You're still fun. Oh, thank you very much for saying that. And thank you for believing in the Duchess of Sussex, as I hope we all do. And thank you for 42 months membership. Okay. Yeah, I don't believe in purchasing anything that can be consumed outside of the normal ways of purchasing things. Um, I prefer stuff that comes from, like, I won't even buy cologne or any kind of fragrance. I will not buy it from any place but a department store or, like a real store. Um, because I just trust the retail experience from a department store more so than I would from, say, a flea market or some online source like someone just mentioned. I don't want to say the name of it and get myself in trouble, but um, yeah, certain things I think you should purchase from a known manufacturer and a known seller. Okay. Um, but things that come from certain sources, you cannot be sure of the quality. I won't even get into the thing about counterfeit products, and that even includes electronics. But if you buy something and they say that it's in bulk, that it's a bulk item, meaning that it doesn't have the original box and all of that kind of stuff. Also, there are things that you could purchase that look very authentic, but they're just not. So if it's something I'm going to consume or I'm going to use it like a toiletry item, I'm not going to go certain places looking for that. I'd rather have it from, you know, a a real store. Even a drugstore is better than some of the other sources. So, um, but yeah, thank you for your comment. All right. Now, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour or so. Got a lot of stuff to cover, so I'm just going to get moving. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, everyone. And that was about 15 minutes that we can never get back. But the good thing is, I discovered some new ways to do stuff, like putting my face in the circle rather than in the square. Okay. Oh, you guys, there is a heat wave. Now, I feel awful. The other day, I was having fun singing heat wave, or what's the other one? We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Well, um, this really takes the smile right off my face. This is a real heat wave and it's dangerous. This is oh so dangerous. So if you live in any of those areas, please take precaution. Um, Drink lots of water. And if you have a bathtub, fill it up with water. Okay, fill up your bathtub with water. I'm saying if these things are really tough and you feel like you're getting overheated and you do not have any AC or anything like that, now, whatever you do, do not have electronics near you while you're in the bathtub. But if that's the way you need to cool down, then do it. Fill up a tub of water and get in it. That's how serious this is. Do not sit there sweating and, you know, gasping for air and threatening a heat stroke or something like that. Take a nice cool shower to cool down. But if you, and I'm going to tell you why I know this is really dangerous, because in Texas a few years ago, they had a power outage, and Texas is not on the national grid. And so it was one thing to not have power, but there were people who probably wouldn't have survived in Texas all these years if they did not have AC, right? And of course, a lot of properties are not built with the type of ventilation, a way to cool down. So those properties are built with air conditioning in mind. So you have to take precaution. But these temperatures in Europe right now are, let me see, I saw like 44 degrees somewhere. 44 degrees. I believe that's 111 Fahrenheit. 111 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's what I'm saying. Do take precaution. Well, 45. 45 degrees Celsius in France, 45 in Spain, 41 in Italy, and so on and so forth. That is a nightmare. That is apocalyptic. So do be careful. Do be careful. Take precautions. They say that there's some winds blowing up from the desert, and those northern winds are, or northbound winds, are what's causing the problem. And they say in some places in Scandinavia, it's the opposite. They have some lower than normal temperatures for this time of year. I see you guys are giving some good advice. So thank you so much for that. Yes, I read about the 10-year-old girl that collapsed from the heat while visiting Versailles. Could you imagine? Well, a friend of mine saved my life when I bought that rail pass for 2 months. I planned to visit the UK and spend a month there and then go on to the Iberian Peninsula. And I had the plan to do 2 weeks in Spain and 1 week in Portugal, right? Fortunately, I contacted him and he told me, he said, listen, if you're not coming here now, do not come. Now, at this point, it was April. He said, you need to come here now. Come here first. I said, okay. So I spent a couple of days in Paris and then was on to Barcelona and on and on and on. That was a lifesaver because the temperature was very comfortable. But anything past April, going into May, and then June, I would have been facing a real problem in Spain and Portugal. So they're typically hot, but this time they're actually having wildfires. When they're having wildfires, then you know things are serious. So again, do take precaution. And if you need to cool off, take cool showers, fill up a tub, put some ice in a bucket and stick your feet in it. That'll bring that core temperature down. Whatever you need to do to cool down. Funny thing, it's interesting what you can retain. The thing about the bathtub, I learned that from watching Barney Miller. They were having a heat wave in New York, one of my favorite sitcoms. And one of the perpetrators that was under arrest heard one of the officers speaking to his mother, and his mother was like, "Oh, I'm so hot," and this. He said, "Tell her to fill up the bathtub." And he looked at him like, "What are you talking?" And then he thought about it. He said, "Ma, go and fill up the tub with some cold water." I've never forgot that. I was a kid when I heard that, and I still remember that. So, um, whatever it takes to survive. We don't want anybody to leave anytime sooner than they have to. Back in, what was it, 1993, 92 in Chicago, We had, I believe it was 700 people that died because of the heat wave, and the mayor was in denial about it. But statistically, there were 700 people within a week period that died compared to the year before. So, yes, those people may have had some pre-existing conditions, but for the heat, most of them still would have survived for another summer, but they did not. And the heat obviously was the reason why. Okay, so anyway, let's go on to something else. Oh, that's a good one. Cool cloth on the back of your head, on your cerebellum. Oh, I got one of those. Who's all of you pulse, what is that? Pulse points as well. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, Eddie. Or is it Edie? It's Edie, right? Thank you so much for that. Okay. As ever official posted a photo today, meaning Meghan, still soaking it in, feeling endlessly grateful. Cheers to what's ahead. Aw, I am so glad that our Duchess is feeling the love. I am so happy that our Duchess is feeling the love. And of course, right here, Meghan Markle's team thrilled as wine sold out despite frustration. And yes, there is frustration with some people, I know, but please have faith. A source told Newsweek the As Ever team and the Netflix team as well are all thrilled that it's done so well. There's still a level of frustration that supplies of wine did not last longer, but the batch was significant. It's quite extraordinary, really, how it sold out. We thought it would sell out, but for it to happen so quickly, again, it's a testament to the popularity of the brand and the Duchess in the US. And I'm going to talk some more about that down the line. Okay. Hello, Joy Amore, Fancy, Sharon Middleton. I made some collages. Well, not collage, but some wallpaper. I made wallpapers. Look at that. This one. And see the one in the background there? That one. And this one. Fun, right? Newsweek was told that Meghan personally tasted and tested multiple grapes and showed them to her friends before personally choosing a bespoke blend. Significant volumes were shifted. A source told Newsweek, and the next step won't be restocking the 2023 vintage because that's now all sold, but they will be replenishing stock with a different vintage and then other types as well. You guys, hang on to those bottles, hang on to them, savor them, because it may just be a one of, but there are going to be others coming down the line. Sparkling wine is not far off, and staff very much hope it will be out in time for fans to enjoy a glass in the dying days of summer. It will be months, not weeks, but we're looking probably toward the end of summer. But obviously, they're working as quickly as they can to do something that's good. She's absolutely not going to compromise on quality. She spent so long sampling different blends, and obviously she wants to be able to scale the produce, that is. Shouldn't it be product as much as possible? but that's got to be done without compromising on the quality. That looks weird. It seems like it should be product. Whatever. Um, so look forward to some interesting things coming down the line, you guys. There are going to be other blends, which will include a sparkling wine. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, again, I have not had any wine for or any other kind of alcohol for about 4 years. I remember it was before the pandemic, so maybe it's longer than that. But anyway, um, you guys, I am proud to say I'm a drinker again. Come on, Oscar. Let's me and you get drunk. Do you guys know where that line comes from? That very famous line. Come on, Oscar. Um, that was from a Betty Davis movie. Oh man. I tell you, with all of the odd things that I have retained in my mind over the years, I wish I would have taken some of that memory and put it toward a degree in medicine or something like that, where I can really help people, you know? Oh man. As Paul Masson would say, we will sell no wine before it's time. Isn't that right, Orson Welles? You guys remember him, right? Orson Welles from the Paul Masson commercials. Well, anyway, um, in the background, as you can see, there is a calculator and there is money, 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 because our Duchess is on the road to becoming a billionaire. And I am going to be so proud the day I can say, you guys, it's official. The Sussexes are billionaires. I'm looking forward to it. TB says, I'm not drinking mine. I'll just go wine tasting in Napa. I've never been to Napa Valley, but I have seen the television show Falcon's Crest. Does that count for anything? I did watch Falcon's Crest. Falcon's Crest ended kind of oddly, didn't it? Wasn't it weird? You know, I don't remember anything about the cast of Falcon's Crest. I remember um, Reagan's ex-wife. I remember Lorenzo Lamos, and was it Morgan Fairchild? Wasn't she also in Falcon's Crest? Jane Wyman, that's her name, Jane Wyman. Reagan's first wife, I think it was. But I don't have much recollection of Falcon's Crest. I remember it was interesting. Oh yeah, the movie with Betty Davis, The Star, 1952. Thank you, Sharon Middleton. Come on, Oscar. Let's me and you get drunk. That is an epic line if I've ever heard one. She grabbed that statue and went and tied one on. Yeah, you know, I didn't know that that was Orson Welles. I do remember the commercial. I remember the bearded guy, but I didn't remember that it was Orson Welles until I looked today. I'm just like, oh, Morgan Fairchild was in Flamingo. Okay. God, you know, she's still absolutely beautiful. Morgan Fairchild has always been attractive. The first time I had seen her in years, I was looking at some television show and I saw this beautiful lady and I said to myself, wow, she looks a lot like Morgan Fairchild back in the day. It was Morgan Fairchild. It was like she had not aged a bit. I could not believe how good she looked, but it was Morgan Fairchild. Unbelievable. So these are some things that were posted today by the Duchess of Sussex. This may be my favorite. It says here, I set the alarm for 10:58 Eastern Time and asked my dental hygienist to please hold the cleaning until after I purchase my Meghan Sussex wine. She jumped up and said, "Oh, that's right." She grabbed her phone and we bought them together. It was that serious. So, according to Meghan, that is one of her favorites. And the other one here, love it. Well done, hubby. This was a lady who had hubby on standby at 11 o'clock this morning to help with the purchase. Laugh out loud. Check out my record breaking checkout time. We mastered it this time around. What is DWL? Anyway, now we can't wait to collect memories with these bubblies. Cheers as ever. Okay. What is DWL? Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. Do no, done with laughing? No. Drywall, drywall lady. She's a drywall person. She puts up drywall. Drywall lady. Is that what it means? Down with, down with, um, no, I don't know what it means. Oh, Knots Landing. I never watched Knots Landing. I never watched Dallas either. I was Dynasty, The Kobe's, and Falcon Crest. Those are the only ones I watched. And here's some of the others that the Duchess posted, including the one in the middle that says, when the nephews come to town, as ever official crepes, and homemade cherry sauce are in order. Oh, Dead Would Laugh. Really? I don't like that one. Huh. Interesting. Dead Would Laugh. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Huh. Yeah, that's weird. Helmet hair and shoulder pads, right? Helmet hair and shoulder pads. You could easily mistake an episode of Dynasty for a football game, right? You have people tackling each other, running into each other, and you got those big shoulder pads. You almost have to turn sideways to get through the door. And of course, the big helmet hair, lots of hairspray. Can't wait to get my as ever rosé. I have cookies and dried flowers on the way too. And there in the middle it says, "What a beautiful delivery." Yeah, that's it for those. And check it out. How cute is that? Enjoy, Megan. All of the boxes, every delivery you get comes with a thank you card. It says thank you on one side and enjoy on the other. And there, of course, is the honey and those other cookies. Now, I want you to notice that those cookies have those little specks of something. If you do not have flour sprinkles, the edible flowers, if you didn't buy those, do know that there's a little package that's inside of the cookie box. So when you buy the cookie mix, you have a packet of the flour sprinkles. You could either bake them in the cookies or sprinkle them on top. But it's just a small package, but there is some inside of the box, just in case you didn't know. I love this. Rarely have I experienced customer service such as I have with As Ever team. Credit where it is due. With the onslaught that accompanies each of Meg's product drops, they are seriously knocking it out the park. I took a chance and asked them to help me with something, fully expecting to be told it was not possible, but they have made it happen. Front of house standardly gets the bath or bathe in the sunlight. But I'm shining a light on the back office as it truly deserves. Meg has assembled a fantastic team. Well done, and thank you all. So that is my personal view of As Ever team. They deserve every success. So someone tweeted that today, and well, I'm glad to know that. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less. I wouldn't expect anything less from the Team Sussex. Now, over here it says Meghan Markle reacts to fans who paused dental cleaning to snag her rosé. And there is the thing that I showed you earlier and Meghan's reaction. You can see that clearly at the top. And this is the other one that I mentioned earlier where the hubby was on standby. Love it. Well done, hubby. Same thing as earlier. Oh, you guys. I couldn't wait to get to this one. I could not wait to get to this one. All right. You're going to love it. You're going to love me. You're going to love me. Yes, you are. Ooh, ooh, love me. Woo, ooh, ooh, love me. Well, let me set it up for you. Of course, that is Loose Women. And they had a chance to get Emma Greedy on their show. And what did they do? What is her name? Janet Streetwalker? The one in the yellow. That's Janet Streetwalker, right? Janet Streetwalker, she had the nerves to, well, anyway, I'll let you hear it. I'll let you hear it. And who is that on the left side? Is that Brenda or, I can never remember her name. No, Brenda is someone else. I forgot who that is. Okay. And I am telling you, I am not going, even though the rough times are showing. There's just a. Okay, I got it.
Okay, but I tell you what, Janet, you really enjoyed the Meghan one, didn't you?
I thought the Meghan one was good. Thank you. You put her on the spot, and then it wasn't as easy as perhaps she was expecting. What do you?
I mean, I don't know. I am really interested in what people are doing, like under the hood, right? So I really want to get, I'm like, great, I get it. You made some jam and you're going to sell that. Like, what does it take to actually start a proper business?
Well, you don't think Emma, with all due respect, she didn't make that jam herself.
She made, she's making things. I mean, do I make the knickers myself?
Yeah.
No.
So, in case you didn't understand what she said she is making the jam. And then, of course, Janet Streetwalker says she didn't make that jam herself. What an odd thing to say. And so Emma says, well, I don't make the knickers either. And translation, I sell underwear, but I do not sew the undergarments. Someone else does that. I'm selling them, but I'm not sewing them. There's a difference. And of course, the lady who created Spanx, I don't think she was sewing the Spanx. I don't think, what's his name, Ferragamo or all those other people, they're not putting those shoes together themselves. There's artisans and factory workers and all sorts of people that do things. There are gourmet kitchens where bespoke, one of a kind organic products are put together. It is the height of silly that they want to maintain this idea that Meghan is trying to allude to the idea that she's trying to convince people that she's cooking these products in her kitchen. Meghan has a recipe that had to be scaled for production. Basically, the same ingredients, but it had to be scaled for production. It had to be made commercially viable. That's all. Famous Amos hasn't baked a cookie in God knows how long. After a while, Famous Amos was mostly famous because of a characterization of the person who created the cookies. Colonel Sanders was no longer frying chicken. And so on. It's so disingenuous, it just borders on stupid and silly. Look at the way, I did a screenshot. Look at the way she's leaning over, but she didn't bake those. I mean, she didn't make it herself, did she? And when Emma responded, well, I'm not making the knickers either. You see the look on her face. That look is one of satisfaction because she has, dismantled that silly comment that she made. And of course, the audience is cheering. And sister girl there on the left side, she's applauding and laughing at Janet Streetwalker. And then, of course, she turns and looks at her to, say, I told her, didn't I? I guess I put her in her place. That's what she's kind of implying with the look to the other side there. It is the height of silly. It's just these people, and people wonder, why do you say it's like a cult? It's a cult of personalities. It really is. People are choosing their tribes. This is tribalism, where everything about the royals, with the exception of Harry and Meghan, is absolutely agreeable. You will make excuses for them. You will big them up even when they don't deserve it. I get that. But that comment was just ridiculous. She doesn't actually make them herself, though, does she? Well, yeah, but she's not making them herself. See how she's leaning in with that, I got you? Let's listen to it again. Please, let's listen to it again.
But I tell you what, Janet, you really enjoyed the Meghan one, didn't you?
I thought the Meghan one was good.
Thank you.
You put her on the spot and then it wasn't as easy as perhaps she was expecting. What do you...
I don't know. I am really interested in what people are doing, like under the hood, right? It's like, I really want to get, I'm like, great, I get it. You made some jam and you're going to sell that. Like, what does it take to actually start a proper business?
Well, you
So
don't
that's what
think
I really want
Emma,
to do.
with all due respect, she didn't make that jam herself.
She made, she's making a brand. I mean, do I make the knickers myself?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Why? It's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. What is it? Porter. Who's Porter? Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm confusing her with Luke Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? Luke Skywalker Janet Streetwalker, but it's Street Porter, right? Okay. Janet Street Porter. Interesting. That's pretty. That's pretty. Anyways, just remember, you guys, it is best to watch Loose Women in 720 and not the, high definition, not the what is it, UHD or whatever. Because if you bring too much clarity to your viewing experience, they start looking like those neighbors on the Flintstones, the gruesomes. Yeah, they go from loose women to gruesome women. So it's amazing how they look so much like their characters, right? Isn't that interesting? And of course, I cannot talk about Loose Women without bringing Stacy Solomon into the conversation. I love Stacy Solomon. I love her. She said what a lot of people were thinking.
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals or as, like, Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, for duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
But they don't pay for all of the houses. But
just a few.
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. What don't you get? Why we are, whatever she says, these people. Oh, man, I love it. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Is that there? Let me see that. Okay. That sounds right to me. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Even if Megan's not your cup of tea, watching a Black woman build something soft, elegant, and successful after being dragged for existing is a win worth cheering. Raise a glass. That is a comment from one of the squatties, and I thought it was very, very apropos. Meghan is living the soft life, and it is something that, to some degree or another, anyone is capable of having a soft life, by degrees, of course. You don't have to have the best of everything to have the soft life, but it just means caring for yourself, your family, being more selective about what you cook and consume. That's the soft life. There's a lot of people who have ways to garden and they just don't do it. But you don't have to have anything big or extravagant. You can just grow some tomatoes. Or as I'm growing some onions, some of those green onions. And when I'm cooking, sometimes I just go out and take a pair of scissors and snip, snip. I come in, wash them, chop them up, and throw them right into the pan. From garden to table, as they say. And who couldn't do that? If you can't have a garden, then grow some herbs in your kitchen or something. But it's a way of doing some very minimal things to help the quality of your life. Also, I thought about Tova Borg. Tova Borg has always had the ability to sell. She's always been able to sell things. She's always been into beauty. How fulfilling is it for someone to take something that they love? In Megan's case, Megan loves the soft life. She loves cooking. She loves growing things. She loves a lot of the domestic stuff. She likes going to the farmer's market. And so taking all of that, plus she loves beauty, she loves skincare, she likes wine, she loves her wine. That is something that she knows a lot about, and she is sharing it with people. And yes, along the way, she's making some money. She's building generational wealth for her family. Tova Borg, I didn't know much about her, right? I thought, oh, she was beautiful. He was lonely, and he married her. She used his name to launch a career for herself in the beauty industry. I couldn't have been more wrong. I was absolutely wrong. First of all, let's just say theirs was a real love affair. You can see his picture in the background there. At this point in her career, she was at the height where she didn't need to promote her relationship with him, but he was a very big part of her life. Um, I don't know how I started watching a documentary about her. And from that, I started watching all these interviews and such. Turns out that she had started her business long before she met Ernest Borgnine. Her mother moved to Las Vegas, so she moved to Las Vegas so that she could be there with her mother. But before they moved to Las Vegas, I believe they were in New York, she was already selling things. She was already using her talent to get people to buy stuff, things that they may have needed, may not have necessarily needed, but she was good at it. While she was in Vegas, she said that her skin was so dry. She was so worried that, she was going to wither out there. So she paid money to a tribe, a native tribe in the area, for some beauty secrets. This is a true story as far as I know. And that was her way to create products that she was selling to some of the Las Vegas showgirls. This product was so good at preserving that youthful skin that everybody was buying it. A lot of male actors and entertainers and such was buying those products. She didn't meet him until long after she had established herself in the business world. Now, it didn't hurt to have his celebrity, but it wasn't necessary for her to be successful. So I am saying this to say that a lot of people that are going to owe Meghan's success to the royal family or Prince Harry, Meghan was moving in that direction long before she married into that family. And with her persistence and her ability, I have no doubt that either way, she was going to do some big things. But just like I didn't know Tova's story, there's a lot of people that doesn't know Meghan's story. They don't know Meghan the philanthropist, the humanitarian, and they don't know much about the tea. They don't know about Meghan's work in food shelters and such. They don't know anything about Meghan with her the what is it, the clothing line that they had at the department store in Canada. They don't know that stuff. People make a lot of gross assumptions, but they just don't know. So that's what we're doing here. We are helping Meghan tell her story. So should not judge a book by its cover. After I learned about Tova's story, I was like, wow. Now, see, if I would have just assumed, I would have thought, oh, she married somebody with some money. She was a desperate housewife in search of some kind of relevance. I was totally wrong. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I had no clue anything about her story. But it was very interesting to learn how she was able to get to where she was in life. And it was persistence. Also, I would be remiss if I did not remind people that Ernest Borgnine has quite an interesting, what do you call it? Well, what am I trying to say? Resemblance. Yeah, there's this very haunting resemblance to the Queen Consort. So it's like I'm still not sure which is which. I think the Queen Consort is the one on the right side because of the earrings. Other than that, I rarely can I tell them apart. I can rarely tell them apart. It's amazing how much the Queen Consort and Ernest Borgnine look almost identical, separated at birth. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys get a chance to though, it's very interesting. I love watching interviews of interesting people. And I think I spent like a whole afternoon one day learning about Tova. I don't know what I was looking for when I found her, but I was like surfing the net for something. And like I said, she can sell things, and she sold me enough for me to actually learn her story, learn about her life. She's a very compelling person. And it did not take her husband to be successful. Helen G says, majority of Brits do not know Meghan's story. However, a lot of Brits, they are sheep followers and have been completely brainwashed up the right wing and the unroyals. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why they always say you should never let your opponent define you. That's what they say in politics. Do not allow your opponent to define you. If you allow your enemy to tell people who you are, by the time you try to tell your side of things or tell your story, they're not they're not interested in listening. They don't want to know at that point. They want to shut you down and don't allow you to tell your own story. And that's why I can't say this enough. I know a lot of people have a certain level where you say, it's best to ignore this. Don't give it any oxygen. Don't talk about that. Just don't say anything. That works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. And the more you don't say anything, the more other people are defining your character. Sometimes you really do have to push back, and you have to push back hard. Because if you don't, well, like they say, if you repeat the same thing often enough, people are going to believe it. Well, who is countering that? Who's speaking up for you? Who's telling your side of the story? I guess the other way to say it is pick and choose your battles. I heard from Helen Groen today, and she's been going through a difficult time, but she misses everyone, especially, of course, Church Nellie. But she has been listening whenever possible, and she is like one of the early supporters of Royal Sussex, almost from the beginning, I believe. anyway, I was thinking about her. And so, out of solidarity and friendship to Helen, I decided to share a Vermeer painting from the Flemish School of Art. He was from the Netherlands. And yeah, so this is my way of saying, hey, Helen, I'm thinking about you. But yeah, when you guys have a chance to, please include Helen in your prayers. Again, she has been one of the early supporters of Royal Sussex, and she's been absent for some time, but she's still listening, and she misses everyone. I know, isn't that beautiful? Vermeer, I was watching some documentary about his paintings, and he barely got any recognition at the time when he was, and I think he died poor, and his wife had to sell his paintings, sometimes traded some of his artwork for bread and whatever else she could get. And he was ignored for a long time, but someone who had gone traveling around Europe began to notice the Vermeer paintings, and he was trying to build up recognition of this, master of subjects like the milkmaid, and some of the ones when you see them, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that. He didn't do as many, well, at least we're not aware of as many landscapes as we are some of his, I guess, portraits or scenes. But yeah, so I thought about Helen, and I decided to share this. Okay. You know what? Look at this. I'm not comfortable with that. That blue, I think that blue is too dark, it's too deep or something. I kind of need it to be different, but I'll worry about that later. I want to make it more like the logo. That one is just a little bit too rich. I wanted to share this with you, but guess what? I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. I'm like, where did I have that? And now I don't know where it is. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can hunt it down. By the way, there are 756 people. Okay, not exactly what I was looking for. There are 756 people here. Please hit the like button. Okay, I'm looking for Ministry of Hacks. Oh, I found it. It's like right there.
Morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. Much cooler in the UK today, which we're very grateful for. What we're not grateful for, see what I did there, is this fella banging on. Again, recent article from yesterday about his mission on homelessness. Prince William has spoken of his mission, going well, to alleviate homelessness for thousands of people screwed by society by offering them hope for the future. What is he talking about? Does he actually realize that his family are controlling the major parts of society that distribute money unfairly, which is a direct cause of homelessness? Can this guy not put two and two together and realize his family are actually part of the problem? And his solution, offering people hope, is not going to work. People need houses, decent accommodation, which is clean, safe, and affordable. He's a slum landlord himself. The hypocrisy of this messaging just winds me literally off the clock. Harry and Meghan doing great things commercially, cost their country nothing. These lot take, offering homeless people hope. Oh, we need change in 2025 and 2026, guys. and the media supporting these messages. Do some proper journalism. Comments are open as ever.
Okay, that was, of course, Martin, Ministry of Hacks. You can find him on TikTok. Thank you, Martin. Okay, Prince William and Kate Middleton trashed by British media. Now, that was back in 2016. UK tabloids failed. By the way, thank you, Muriel, for sharing these. UK tabloids falling, that is, out of love with Prince William and Kate. Right? Same article, I think. Let's fast forward. Not fast forward. There it is again. UK tabloids are falling out of love with William and Kate. Now, this is how they wrote about them before the Sussex marriage, right? You couldn't have called Harry lazy back in those days because Harry was working, and I do mean a lot. William, not so much. William pretty much did whatever he wanted to do and as often as he wanted to do it. William missed a lot of key appearances back in those days where he would decide to go skiing rather than doing service for the crown. And yet he managed to shake down his grandmother and get an entire helicopter, an 8 million pound helicopter at the time, because he said he needed it. And I guess she thought, wow, I guess he's going to try to do some work, right? He didn't do anything extra. He didn't do anything more than what he was already doing. He was just able to not do it faster than he did before, if that makes sense. Notoriously lazy. And you can see here, Russell Myers, Prince William has spoken of his mission to alleviate homelessness for thousands of people screwed by society by offering them hope for the future. And that's about all he offers is hope. Now, remember, he was first going to donate 5 million pounds against homelessness, right? And then he said he was going to change the perception of homelessness. And then, for some reason, and I cannot believe this happened, they had these art exhibits that were not necessarily fundraisers, but art exhibits focused on homelessness. I'm still trying to figure out the point of that. It seemed like an excuse to get the press to see what you're doing or whatever. But one of the sure ways he could tackle homelessness is to build affordable housing. That is what is missing, is a decent, affordable housing. It's not just a British thing. Across the Western industrialized world, there is a shortage of housing. There are a lot of working class people who will never be able to buy a home, and they can't barely afford to find someplace decent to rent. And yet, you don't hear any politicians vowing to build affordable housing. It's just not done. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about affordable housing. If William really wanted to commit to, he doesn't have to solve homelessness, just start putting people in homes. And if he does that, other people will follow his lead. He won't be popular with the politicians, but it's not a political thing. It is a humanitarian thing. The dignity of having a roof over your head and not sleeping on someone's sofa, not sleeping in someone's shed. Because a lot of people that are, technically homeless, they do have a place to stay, but it's not their place. There are overcrowded conditions where people have dormitories in what should be a single family home. I've seen one where when that wasn't enough, they were housing people in a shed. he can do something about that. I'm not saying throw open the doors of the palace, but so far it's been nothing but lip service, busy work with very little results, nothing to show for it. But it gives him the attention that he wants. Now, he stumbled all over himself, all over the place, trying to do things for his mother's birthday, to remember his mother, because he was terrified that Harry was going to, I guess, outdo him in some kind of way and get all of the attention. Well, Harry was absolutely quiet for his mother's birthday, whereas William was out there making promises that he cannot possibly keep. That's what he did for his mother's birthday. Busy work. A former prime minister, a very talented content creator. That's how he spent his mother's birthday, showing off, trying to make a name for himself, or should I say, trying to impress people. They were right there. William teams with Stephen Bartlett and Gordon Brown as he champions cause close to his heart on Diana's birthday, as Meghan set to release her wine. Is that what it was about? Also, I think that there is this need to contrast the more, I guess, well, let's see. Whenever Harry and Meghan are doing something besides philanthropy, besides humanitarian stuff, they like to contrast that. Like, look at us, we're doing things that are vital to the community. And Harry and Meghan, they're just showing out. I think that's part of it. I really do. And I'm going to show you another example of that soon. But yeah, Zandy Sussex, oh my goodness, Zandy Sussex, Sussex Warrior, and of course, Henry VIII, SK, there's a few of them. Glow. Kate Middleton says cancer recovery is a roller coaster during, what is that, Colchester hospital visit? She's back. Yes, she's back, guys. Kate Middleton is back, and she is doing busy work. Just like her husband, she's doing busy work. She wants everyone to know that she's busy, that she's helping people, that she's defining her experience by sharing it with some people at the hospital. Now, I'm convinced all of this is a result of her appearing to be the usual lazy Katie. And so, in order to save face, she decided to resurface as the working royal that she's supposed to be. Let me find that article. Here you have it. Okay. So, Kate Middleton, cancer recovery is a roller coaster. Kate Middleton stepped onto the sunlit lawn of Colchester Hospital. The RHS Wellbeing Garden, and pressed a new variety of blush pink rose into the soil. Cameras clicked, headlines soon followed, and the Princess of Wales gave her most extensive public remarks since announcing her cancer remission in January. She called recovery a roller coaster and stressed the need for a new normal and praised nature's role in healing. Yes, she's back on that kick about getting out into nature. Yet beyond the petals and applause, online skeptics question her vague language and the palace public relations timing. leave it to Feminagra. I'm telling you, Feminagra. I love Feminagra. They are doing the Lord's work. They are really doing the Lord's work. Uh-oh, what did I miss? What did I miss here? Okay. All right. So hospital visit marks the careful return. I'm gonna say a careful return. The engagement unannounced until the morning of July 2nd. Unannounced. I wonder if that's because of the last time she was at a scheduled appearance. Didn't she get booed at the Troop in the Color, was it? Maybe she was afraid she would get booed, so they weren't allowed to announce it. Anyway, the engagement, unannounced until the morning of July the 2nd, reunites Kate with frontline NHS staff and a small group of patients in remission. Kensington Palace framed the stop as a chance to celebrate the incredible healing power of nature. The princess donned a tan blazer, planted 50 Catherine rose bushes destined for a community garden, and chatted about music, gardening, and mental health. Reporters captured direct quotations in which she avoided personal pronouns, saying, "You put a brave face on." Is that what she said? You know what? I couldn't tell what she said, but I tell you what, I do have a video to share with you. Poliver Girl, thank you so much for the super sticker and super chat. And thank you so much for being here. Poliver says, "Hey, Royal Sussex fam." Thank you so much for that. All right. Now, where is it at here? Let me grab that video for you. Oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that right now. Let me get to that part before I share that with you. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna wait for that one. Let me see. So Princess Donna, you put on a brave face. She offered no details about her cancer type or treatment plan, a choice consistent with the palace policy, but jarring to observers seeking candor. So she's not being candid enough, apparently. Royal Rhoda spin cancer visit to deflect public suspicion. Kensington Palace framed the unannounced stop as a chance to celebrate the incredible healing power of nature. Kate wore tan blazer, planted. Did I do that already? Okay. Well, anyway, it repeats. Planted the Catherine roses and spoke with patients in remission. Reporters noted she avoided personal pronouns. Yeah, I guess I did do this already. Although the phrasing fits palace policy, it frustrates listeners seeking details. Furthermore, the visit seemed designed to quiet criticism after her royal ascot absence and to clear a path for a likely Wimbledon appearance. Likely? How about certain? Oh, man. The mainstream reports diverge quickly. Left-leaning outlets led the life-changing ordeal and spotlighted Kate's claim that recovery is really, really difficult. Right-leaning tabloids called her radiant, praised her linen suit, and framed the event as proof of stoic courage. Meanwhile, centrist wires such as Reuters stressed her garden advocacy and repeated the roller coaster quote without extra color. Therefore, while all agree she remains in remission, their tones could not be more different. So, an example of that is here. That's Roy Anika, that's Russell Myers and Rebecca English. The full story here, Princess of Wales opens up about her really difficult cancer recovery as she meets with hospital patients and says, "You're not able to function normally." Huh, really? And then over there, I'm not even going to bother with those, but okay. Those were the tweets from the Royal Rota. Calls for substance over symbol. Kate Rose planting and emotional remarks offer symbolic support, but critics argue the symbolism alone is not enough. While proceeds from Catherine's rose sales benefit Royal Marsden Cancer Center, cancer charities, she has yet to spearhead a broader public campaign or collaborate with oncology experts to raise awareness of specific cancer. Advocates stress that late-stage diagnoses are rising among young women and believe the Princess platform could do more to highlight these gaps in care. There have been so many stories lately about younger women having things like colon cancer and other cancers that are in the late stage. And in so many cases, the doctors are showing a bit of bias by saying, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, thinking that they're too young to have such a serious cancer. Nothing could be further from the truth. There's no age limit on some cancers. Yes, they're more associated with older people, but some cancers are starting to rise in younger patients, in younger people. So Kate is in a prime position where she could do some amazing things to help people. But instead, I would say this is probably only the third or fourth time that Kate Middleton has actually done anything publicly to bring any type of awareness. And I'm saying any type of awareness because she's non-specific when it comes to her cancer. Therefore, it's difficult to pinpoint exactly what people should be looking out for because she won't tell us what cancer she had. That is bonkers. Leg says, gardening, wonder what brought this on. I'm going to get to that. I promise you. In an age when public trust leans on transparency, the difference may depend less on how many roses she plants and more on whether Kate's roots are narrative in concrete help for those still riding their own roller coaster through illness. Okay, thank you, Feminegra. And now by the way, thank you, Legs. Henry VIII says the newest thing from his heirs, that is, the newest thing from his heirs, too sick for bread and butter engagements, but galas and royal box at Wimbledon are okay. So, of course, that has been the way things have worked out for the Welleses, is that a lot of the bread and butter type of royal visits that Queen Elizabeth and, of course, King Charles and both their consorts, they have always made certain kind of visits that weren't necessarily flashy or glamorous, but is all part of the role. Kate and William have been derelict in their duty. They refuse to do certain things because they feel like it's beneath them. They want to do high impact things, but they don't want to do some of the day-to-day royal task, which is evident by the fact that has never really been part of their work ethic. They like the flashy stuff. They like stuff that brings them a lot of praise and celebration, but the little things, not so much. Also, How many tones of hair do you see? I see Kate's hair, and then I see some type of fall that has been pinned to the back of her head. There is no way that that is her hair. There is no way all of that hair is hers. No way. No way. I think it looks bad. It looks really bad. That is not a good look. Not a good look. You're going to plant flowers so you get the biggest hair in your closet. No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. And of course, she's wearing the she is wearing her engagement ring. And it's easy to see it because, as you can see, she was nice enough to turn not one, but both hands forward, just in case you missed it. Oh, man. I know. I am going to hell for this, but y'all remember what I told you a long time ago. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Yep. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Anyway, I'm going to go on. But yes, you can see she's wearing her engagement ring. What is up with that, though? Why does that happen? I'm starting to think she's a neighbor of the Flintstones. Oh, man. Okay. Listen, you all. I kind of feel sorry for her here. This is absolutely humiliating. I wonder if this was some type of punishment, a way to atone for missing the royal ascot. Very undignified. It's one thing if you're in your own garden, right? It's another thing when you are paraded out into the public and told to get down on all fours and plant them flowers. This is humiliating. This is absolutely humiliating. I'm telling you, Kate is so over her life right now. She's over it. She is going to have a very tough time as long as Camilla is the queen consort. Until Camilla becomes a dowager, Kate is going to suffer one humiliation after the other. She is being punished for something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But William and Charles are not getting on with each other. Kate and Camilla are not getting on with each other. And so Kate was forced to go and get down on all fours and plant those rose bushes. Yeah, that's what I said. It doesn't make sense to me. You're going to plant roses. She had to know that. Why are you wearing all that hair? It doesn't make any sense. I've seen her with a ponytail before. And yet the future queen is being paraded about and down on all fours planting roses while people look on. Now, to be fair, there is one other person that's on this side of Kate, but look at her face. That is someone who is absolutely miserable. Miserable. There are no words. There are no words. It's what she deserves, though. It is what she deserves because she has been horrible to Meghan. She has been horrible to Meghan. But this is, you know, I hate to say that this is beneath her, but this really is beneath her position. This really is. If you ask me, is an atonement. She has been put in this position because of that royal ascot. They wouldn't have been talking about royal ascot for an entire week unless there was a problem. And so in order to save face, she has to go out and do this. Yeah, Joan Garcia says the whole royal bunch is pitiful. I kind of thought you guys would enjoy the catching up on Kate's life. I kind of thought you would. It is humiliating. It is humiliating. Now, there is a chance. Yes, in the dirt. In the dirt. There is a possibility that she asked for this because she wanted to show some humility in the wake of the royal ascot situation. Maybe this is exactly what she wanted to do. Maybe it's what she wanted to do. Maybe she wanted to show people how normal she is, how domestic she can be. I just could not believe when I saw this, I'm just like, Kate, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? You know, that is a good point. It's amazing. Everything is not protocol till Meghan does it in America. Curious. Thank you, Paula girl. I agree with you. I do agree. This is when the reality started to hit. This is the reality started to hit. I just don't think that there was any logical reason why she had to be the one to plant those flowers. They could have simply have planted the flowers. She goes over and gives an acknowledgement. Unless she's trying to compete with Meghan, which is likely the reason, maybe this is a way for her to try to identify more with Meghan. I mean, except for the pants, she's pretty much wearing a very Meghan-esque outfit, except for them high waters she's wearing. But I don't think that Meghan would have shown up wearing an outfit like that to plant flowers. It probably would have been denim, right? But there's something so terribly wrong with this scene. There's something so terribly wrong with this scene. Now, not the mumbles. Yes, the mumbles. Now, I want you to take a look on the right side. It says, apology to readers. The audio on Kate's remarks is barely audible and sounds like mumbles, likely for the princess, a fleet of royal correspondents standing ready to translate and polish every word on her behalf. Shall we? Shall we? I'll let you hear it for yourself.
You put on sort of brave face, the stoicism through treatment. Treatment's done. Yeah. So I can crack on and get back to normal again, but actually the phase afterwards is really, is a really difficult journey. You're not necessarily a clinical team any longer, but you're not able to function normally at home as you perhaps once used to.
What? What was that?
You put on sort of brave face, the stoicism through treatment. Treatment's done. Yeah. So I can crack on and get back to normal again, but actually the phase afterwards is really, is a really difficult journey. You're not necessarily a clinical team any longer, but you're not able to function normally at home as you perhaps once used to.
Good Lord. Good Lord. And now you see why they needed subtitles. Now you can see why they needed subtitles, because otherwise you would not have understood a single word she said. I believe the term that they used is clipped. Her speech is very clipped. It is a very forced, I guess, aristocratic speech that she's attempting. The elocution lessons only made the matters worse. It only made the matter worse. All of those elocution lessons did not hit the target. It only made things more noticeable. It is interesting, Tangerine Squeeze, that both husband and wife both seems to have that in common, that at some point in their upbringing, they both have had to have surgery, above the neck surgery. Just an interesting coincidence, I suppose. You heard her. She said,
you put on sort of brave face, the stoicism through treatment. Treatment's done. Yeah. So
that's what she said. She said,
you put on sort of brave face, the stoicism through treatment. Treatment's done. Yeah. So I can crack on and get.
That's what she said. Now you heard her loud and clear. Is that the language? It's called Mumbalese. She's speaking Mumbalese. Wasn't that a song from Carmen Miranda? Everybody mumble, 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 Malese. And when you go to mumble, 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 Malese, everybody mumble, 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 Malese. I think that was a Carmen Miranda song. It's not the same without a fruit on top of your head, but if you can get like a big fruit basket on your head, then it makes sense. Everybody mumble, 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 Malese. Oh man, I tell you. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong one. I'm supposed to be over here. And anyway, she looks nice and tan and rested, right? She should be. She ain't been working. But yeah, she looks very tan. And again, she wants to make sure you notice that ring that she's wearing. She's wearing that Princess Diana sapphire and diamond ring. What? You guys, I'm going to have to like shame you. I am going to like shame you all. There are 900 people and only 400 likes. Where'd that happen? Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. It will drive the algorithm. Well, anyway, I'm just glad she's okay and that she's able to, go out and plant flowers and stuff, because according to Rebecca English, she had a really close call, but it seems like she's on the mend. And even though between herself and Palace, they have not shared exactly what type of cancer it was. That's a mother of three children who needs their mom, and yeah, so yep, yeah. Yeah, I told you it's humiliating. This right here is a humiliation. Even if she was on board and okay with it, maybe she can't see it for herself, but the idea that she had to go out there and plant those flowers. Now, I've seen her do the whole flower planting before, but when she's done it before, it was with some children. She was with the children. I mean, Harry and Meghan have done planting and stuff with the children, but that you are in this corporate casual outfit, and you're down on all fours with a crowd of people watching you. Even if it was her idea, I still think this is humiliating. This makes so little sense to me. I think that it is beneath her to have people gawking at her and gazing upon her do this act of humility just so that she can go to the Wimbledon. So I don't even care why she's doing it. I don't care whose idea it was, but this is humiliating and it's beneath her. This is the future queen consort. And she has a crowd of people around watching her plant flowers. Those flowers should have been planted. She goes by, she acknowledges them, but unless you're interacting with children, I don't see a point to this. Unless you're interacting with other patients. But this, she's on display like some kind of curiosity or oddity or something like that. And I don't think that they really thought this through. This is not very good. This is not a good idea. It's humiliating. And maybe she felt obliged to do it because of the whole thing with the Royal Ascot. I don't know. But they consistently make some really bad decisions, Will and Kate. They make some really, really bad decisions. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for being here. I am deeply, deeply honored. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the super chat. We'll go and watch on replay. Thank you, Elaine Parker. I really, really do appreciate that. Let me see. Oh man. Okay. Maybe she didn't know that this was coming. Maybe she didn't realize that this was coming. Because if she did, why would she be wearing a sapphire and diamond ring to go and plant flowers? No gloves, a sapphire and diamond ring, and a wig like she's auditioning for Rapunzel. It just looks odd to me. It really looks odd. Yo, you see, you said it too. No gloves. This looks so odd to me. And you know, it's really bad when something as humiliating as this happens and you're the last person to notice how ridiculous it looks. If she ever catches on. I was aghast when I saw it. Absolutely aghast. Groveling in the mud, almost in her belly as a punishment. She's supposed to be the future queen, and being in the mud is not the place to be. Kitty is a fool. Sharon Augustine, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. Yeah, I feel like there is something not right about this. Maybe she didn't know it was coming. Maybe she didn't know. But it looks very out of place. Mary H., there's also that possibility. There's always that possibility. In her zeal to upstage and outdo Meghan, it is very possible. Let's see. Breaking. Princess of Wales has spoken of the roller coaster of cancer recovery. The pressure to show brave-faced stoicism when the truth is you aren't able to function at home normally. To me, this is very clear. The princess is making a point, particularly about the impact of long-term treatment, as she says, you have to find your new normal, and that takes time. And it's a roller coaster ride. It's not the one smooth plane which you can expect it to be. Okay. This also makes me very suspicious because after the incident with the Royal Ascot, Rebecca English led the charge to try and explain away Kate's absence without saying, and remember, not one time did they say that Kate was ill for the Royal Ascot. They used recalibration, they used balance, they did not use ill. I believe Rebecca English had the bright idea to further drive the point of how close Kate was to death, how scary it was for the family, and how much suffering she went through. I don't hear any of the other royal reporters singing from that hymn book. This is uniquely Rebecca English, which tells me that this is Rebecca English's idea. The other royal reporters don't seem to want to touch it. At least they're not using that strategy to explain away Kate's absence. But clearly she was not sick. If she was ill, then her mother should have been at her side. If she was ill, then her husband should have been at her side, both of whom were out enjoying the afternoon at Royal Ascot. So illness did not play a part. She just did not want to go for whatever reason. she decided she wouldn't go. Maybe she didn't want to be around Camilla. Maybe she didn't want to be near Charles, but she made a decision to not go. I do not believe that Kate was too ill to attend Royal Ascot. If she was ill, then that means that her mother is cruel and ignorant because she should have been with her daughter. If you got time to go out and get drinks, her mother's absence from Royal Ascot was not going to change anything. So why was she there? Because Kate was not sick. Glow said if she wants to go to her fave, Wimbledon, after her no-show at Royal Ascot, then she was going to have to do another engagement beforehand, so it did not look so obvious. Focusing this engagement on health and trying to remind us that her recovery, which seems more delicate than Charles, also helps to keep the mood supportive. I wonder if she will get another standing ovation at Wimbledon for her simply turning up. Well, there you go. There you go. Sounds like a motive to me. Kate was not ill for Wimbledon. For the Royal Ascot. There's been a falling out in the family, and she just decided to not go. That's it. And as Glow says, it's a ploy for sympathy. So that way she will be regaled as a hero when she arrives at Wimbledon. And instead of a mere mortal, as they once said, she won't be looked upon as a mere mortal. She gets a chance to arrive like the conquering hero. It's a ploy for attention. Clearly a ploy for attention. Attention-seeking behavior. And of course, what's a rollout without the help of the newspapers? Kate, my roller coaster recovery. So let's get this right. Balance. What was the other one? Balance, recalibrate, roller coaster. Balance, recalibrate, roller coaster. Not sure what those words have in common, but there may be another one that I have missed, but at least those three I know. Those are the three talking points that were issued by Rebecca English. All of which were designed to take the pressure off of Kate because she did not feel like going to the Royal Ascot, the height of the social season. Day of drama leaves. Oh, no, that's not it. Down there it says, brave face Kate on really difficult cancer recovery. Yeah, I look at her face. She looks brave to me. Either brave or intoxicated, but she looks brave to me. Is there any wonder that people are skeptical? And you can count me among them. Is it any wonder that people are skeptical? Bad press from the Ascot needs to be quickly erased as a sympathetic moment. Does much to do that. Copying Meghan is also a sure way to get clicks by the inevitable comparisons. Yep. And on that note, voila. You said that just at the right time, because this was next. There you go. Comparison made. Comparison noted. Lex says she's see how she works. Kate didn't say anything about her. She vaguely talked about recovery. However, the British media says it is her recovery. It is all to give her plausible deniability. Yep, that'll do it. Plausible deniability. I'm not a linguistics expert by any stretch of the imagination. Linguistics is not my forte. However, I do listen carefully. There was no mention of illness. Rebecca English took the charge herself to remind people about her recovery. And I guess there was something about that that stuck. There was something about that that resonated with people. And so a unannounced visit, at least until the last minute, to a hospital, to their garden, where she planted roses to remind people of the healing properties of nature. But still, there was no mention of illness where Royal Ascot was concerned. Rebecca English has been doing this ever since Kate was missing for 172 days. She has been the main person championing the cause of feel sorry for Kate, sympathy for Kate. They don't want to say what the illness is, the cancer. They don't want to explain the cancer, but they want everyone to take pause and give her a wide berth to do absolutely nothing. Now, remember, Rebecca English also said that you won't see much of Kate for the next 3 months. She has planned in advance the excuse to do nothing. She has planned that in advance. A preemptive excuse to do nothing. While Charles, who is almost twice her age, spent 4 days in the grueling hot sun without excuses. You know, there's a lot of people who say that the younger generation is just not tough enough. I don't agree with that. I believe that young people are doing some very extraordinary things. Well, number one, Kate is not that young, but she is younger than her father-in-law, clearly. And yet, there is amazing what a person can do when they really want to do it. But they have coddled, comforted, they have aided and abetted Kate in her laziness. When she didn't want to work during her pregnancy, they found some cock and bull excuse about morning sickness. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It was an easy way to explain her absence. All of these things are just way too convenient. And I personally want to convey the same skepticism that they have used against the Duchess of Sussex. I feel obliged to be very skeptical about anything that they say. I mean, the palace, they're known liars. Anybody who would lie and accuse someone of being a bully because they're afraid of an interview will lie about anything. Anyone who would pretend to be supportive of a marriage while feverishly working in the background, plotting and scheming against them every step of the way, they have proved themselves to be liars. They will lie to uplift and elevate William and Kate, but they won't tell the truth to give any kind of protection to Harry and Meghan. So if they lie about all those things, why should I believe the simplest things that they say about either William or Kate? I have no reason to believe them. They're poor excuses and they're very convenient, and they serve those two people who have always been notoriously the laziest people in the family. I mean, we have the proof right here. 2016, William and Kate trashed by British media. They've always been lazy, but now they have excuses. They have excuses. Kate went through whatever she went through, and William feels bad because of what Kate's been through. Problem solved. It's another excuse to stay home, while cancer-ridden Queen Elizabeth carried out her duty. Philip, ailing with a bad heart, continued to do his duty. Charles, with hands that look like catcher's mitts. He's wearing that ugly cherry lip gloss and all kinds of stuff he's got going on, childbearing hips, you name it. But yet he continues to work. But Kate, she picks and chooses the days she will and will not work. William will pick and choose the days that he will and will not work. They've always done that. There's nothing different. It's just now that they have a more plausible excuse, something that is blanketed. It gives them excuses for everything. Also, let's not forget the children. How many times have we heard, well, Kate is raising the future king? William and Kate says family comes first. How many times have we heard family comes first? Tell that to the working class people of Britain, that family comes first. The difference is they dare not miss a day work. William and Kate are subsidized by the taxpayers. Everybody wants to put their family first. Everybody. But that's a luxury that is not afforded to most people. But that's another one of their grand excuses, is that Kate was caring for the kids. Kate didn't show up for that luncheon that day. And what did Rebecca English say? Childcare issues, I suspect. Two of the most privileged people in the land. And Kate misses an engagement because of a babysitter. They didn't say that the child was sick. They didn't say anything like that. They just wanted something easy to digest by the masses. Prince William's Duchy of Cornwall cuts charity rents after public backlash. About time. About time. See, when you call them out, stuff happens. Stuff will happen. Because how could you go on and on about homelessness and you're still charging these incredibly large amounts of money for rent? Now, I get the idea of being competitive with the market, but you are filthy rich. You inherited $1 billion duchy and has done less for the privilege than your father has most of his adult life. And you're charging people full market value for rent? They could use some of that surplus cash to build a better life for their own families, to leave an inheritance to their children or whoever. The Duchy of Cornwall, inherited by Prince William, has slashed rents for some charities and waived fees for community groups. The move, this ain't even for the tenants. These are for charities. The move came after investigation Channel 4 Dispatch and Sunday Times revealed the estate collected millions from public bodies, including the NHS warehouses, while tenants lived in mold-ridden, poorly insulated homes. Williams' team framed the shift as leadership in a new era, but critics see a reactive attempt to save face under public scrutiny. The joint investigation uncovered how the duchy charged market rate rents to taxpayer-funded tenants. One deal brought £829,000 for an NHS logistics hub. Others involve Defense Ministry payments for training and dock space. Despite pandemic slowdown, the estate posted £22.9 million in profit last year, only a minor dip from the previous earnings. These revelations renewed questions about how a private royal estate retains tax exemption while earning from the public purse. Now that takes nerves, don't it? That takes a lot of nerves. Go figure. Calls for Parliament to take the duchies out of royal hands surged after dispatches aired footage of family freezing, that is, in moldy cottages. Reports reveal 14% of the duchy's homes fall below legal energy efficiency standards, with upgrades delayed for years, while William oversees more than 53,000 hectares, and his tenants face fuel poverty under pressure. Duchy Secretary Will Bax announced rent cuts of up to 50% for charities and 3 buildings used for grassroots groups. The move looks less like reform and more like a reputational triage. Well, what about the tenants? What about the private citizens or subjects that live in the homes? I don't see any mention about that. Well, if you're a charity or public entity, then you're doing okay. But if you're a private residence, I guess you have to wait until they decide to fix your flat or your cottage or whatever. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. The number of people that go bankrupt every year from medical bills. Canada, 0. As a matter of fact, everybody is 0 except for the United States, where we have the honor of 326,000 bankruptcies because of medical bills. Nobody wants to be the 51st state, not Canada, not Australia, France, Sweden, Norway, Spain, Denmark, Portugal, United Kingdom, Japan, Finland, Iceland, or Germany. Nobody wants to be the 51st state, because being the 51st state means that some of the tenants, or not tenants, but the citizens will go bankrupt because of medical bills. Bankruptcy because of medical bills. There are some people that do not have credit card debt. They only have bankruptcies from their medical bills that have piled up. And one of the things with the medical bills that I find particularly frustrating is that so many times payments are denied, like for every 100 payments that need to be made by that insurance company, they're going to deny a certain amount of those payments, and the patient has to pay. Now, in some of those instances, the patients are not supposed to pay. The insurance company should do it. But denials like that means that a certain amount of people will become confused, or they will miss some window of opportunity or whatever. And next thing you know, you're saddled with the bill. It's something that's quite deliberate. They do that on purpose. There are some people for these insurance companies, their job is to say no, to deny benefits or to deny payments, to deny services. That is their job, is to deny. So nobody wants to be the 51st state. I don't know who this guy is. I didn't get a chance to do anything. I don't know anything about this painting. Thing is, I was prepping, and just as I was preparing, I saw that, and I'm just like, oh, that's cute. Let me share that. And guess what? I'm done. That is it for Royal Sussex tonight or this morning. So thank you all very much. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And remember, Team Sussex. I am Team Sussex. Got it? Team Sussex. I'll look for your closing comments, and then we will say good night, everyone. You're quite welcome. Thank you. Anything? Yeah, Team Sussex forever. Thank you, Team Sussex Team Warrior. Thank you. Elaine Parker says, bye, everyone, wherever you are in the world. That ring is cursed. That ring is cursed. It has some kind of jinx on it or something. No one should wear that ring. First of all, the person who bears that ring, I don't know if it's the weight or what, but it starts to turn the back of your hands forward. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, the back of your hands seem to lead you up the street. I mean, most people, when their hands are at the side, the thumb is kind of angled forward, the pinky is kind of angled behind you. But it's something about that blue sapphire that starts to turn the hand where the knuckles and the back of the hand is facing forward. Very unusual phenomenon. And what's worse is that it actually turns the opposite hand. You see that? Somehow the opposite hand began to turn. And so now, every time she walks up the street, the back of her hands are leading the way. I think it has something to do with that ring. I'd be interested to know if that happened before she wore that ring. The ring that she took to the hospital, and the ring she wore while scraping and clawing through the soil to plant those roses. Thank you, TB. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're posable, right? Just like a mannequin. I feel you. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. That was a great movie starring Prince William and Kate Middleton. Oh, well, good night, everyone. I will see you all next time. Cheers. And make sure you guys pray for all of the squatties that are in need of prayer right now. There are many of them. So, yeah, it's been kind of a rough season for quite a few squatties, but so long as they know that they're in our thoughts and prayers, and know that we are with you wherever you are. We are with you. Your Sussex Squad family is definitely with you. Okay, cheers.